Okay, next is if error or if NA. Now, if error Excel function is used for error handling in Excel. Okay, this function is used to display a result when error occurs in any formula or argument. We use this function with other function to notify the user what could be mistaken in the formula. This function takes two arguments, which is valuable if there is no error, and another value to be displayed when there is an error. Okay, the syntax is value could be of any value. Okay, a reference or even a formula. So the first part of the if error can be anything. Value of error is if the value that is returned as an output when an error is generated. So what to show in case your first part of your if error returns an error. Okay, so this if you see this example, okay, what we were trying to do is we were trying to put a formula here of match. We will discuss later what match is. So now the formula was, so if in case this match returns an NA which is not available error, which means the value couldn't be found. Okay, if an NA error is returned, then show not found. So this will be applicable only for the NA error. Okay, let's see what are the types of errors that we have. Okay, first is a name error, not available error. Okay, now what is a not available error? So you see, what we are trying to find is if this name is there in my this if the names from my employee B are present in my employer A as well. Okay, so what do I do? If it is present, then return me this list, this name. If not present, then not present. Okay, so what do? I do a VLOOKUP, right? So by VLOOKUP I can search for a value, this value in this range. Okay, okay, so I selected the range and then put 1 comma false. Okay, so now let me just fix my range, like we should always fix it. Okay, and I now drag it. So you see, wherever I don't have, for example, name 20 is not available here. Okay, so for them I'm getting name not, for with that I'm getting NA, but that doesn't looks nice, right? Because when you are submitting your report to a higher management, you should always show them a proper report. Okay, with this is an error, you should not be showing an error. So what we can do is I can just put if error. Okay, this is a value. So in case an error comes up, or it can be any type of error. Okay, so if an error comes up, so what I can do is I can show instead of that anything I want. So I can just show name not available. Anything you want, you can write here. Okay, done. Now let me just drag it again. So you see, for the ones for which it is not available, what it is showing name not available, right? So this is how you can enclose your formula inside if error. Okay, see, if NA becomes very specific. If NF formula will be only for NA error, but if error is the formula which you can use for all types of errors, all types of errors. We will see how what are the types of errors. Okay, I hope you understood this if error part. And next is div 0. The div 0 is in case there is a division by 0 error. So you see here it is 0. So if error A4 by B4, okay, then in case this is showing error, okay, in case this is showing error, then the number of persons would be less than 1. This is what you need to show. Okay, enter. So you see, we get a number of person less than 1 because it was a div by 0 error. Okay, for rest, we are getting some value. right? Because they're not zeros. Okay. Moving ahead, name. Okay, so what name does is, if you see, I wanted to do a sum here. Okay, I wanted to do a sum here, but then I somehow missed M here. So what actually happened is, now this is a name error. Okay, so in case, like right now while writing, obviously we won't do an error, but if we are fetching this kind of formulas from somewhere which is pre-written, and if the formula is wrong there, so what happens is we fetch the wrong formula. Okay, and then this kind of errors might come up, this name error might come up. Okay, so then what we do, in case if error of this formula, then write typed wrong formula. Okay, next what we have is null. So in case something is null, then we need to type, okay, wait. Okay. What we have here is wrong formula. So when we type it in, so it will have wrong formula. Okay, so just to avoid that, we can have this. Then we have null. So null is, so see, what we are trying to do is we are trying to add A2, A3 and A4, right? See, A2, A3 and A4. So here, what happened is we missed a plus here. Okay, if we have this kind of plus, that means there is a null which is coming here. Okay, you see the same function which I'm, when I'm putting it down, it gives me null error because there is a plus missing. So we can always put it in if error. So if it gives you an error, then you can do a sum of A2 to A4. Okay, this is more safe, right? When you do sum of A4, A2 to A4, you just select the ranges and there's no need to put multiple pluses, and then you will not make a mistake in that case, right? So you can do if error. Okay, next, num. Okay, now what is a num error? So you see, we have a negative number. Okay, if square root of a6, okay, a6 is -4, we can't do. Okay, so it is a negative number. So hence, instead of showing a num error, it's showing a negative number. Same goes for this. We can't do a square root of -1 because it's a negative number. Excel can't handle it. So we have a negative number written for this. Next, we have a ref error. Now, what is a ref error? Okay, this can't be shown here, but I'll just tell you. Okay, so ref error is when you, so for example, you have two Excel workbooks, okay, and you are using VLOOKUPs or some formulas which involves these two workbooks. Now you want to send the report to someone else using mail. Okay, now you sent only one. Okay, but your Excel workbook has formulas which is referring to the other workbook as well. Now because you didn't send the other workbook, Excel can't find those values, right? Because it was in some other workbook. So it is getting a reference error in that case. Again, you can hide reference error with if error. Okay, same way. Okay, next we have a value error. Okay, so now what is a value error? So you have D4 plus D5. What is it? That is D4. D4 is this and D5 is blank. So you can't add a null to a value, right? So here also if you see A2 plus A3, so A2 and A3, you can't add. So you get a value error. So for this, what we can do is, in case A2 plus A3 is, giving you an error, so you write text can't be added to the number. Okay, because it's empty. Okay, so whatever you want you can write. Okay, so these are the types of errors we generally see in Excel, and any type of error can be avoided using if error. Okay, now my suggestion or a tip here is, when you are creating a report in the first place, please don't use if error at that moment, because if you use if error, all the errors will be hidden and you will not know what is the error, or even if there is an error or not. Okay, so first create a report. Okay, once you're done with the report and you see okay everything is coming up well, then you apply an IFERROR on top of it. Okay, that is how you should work and when you are creating your reports. Okay,